Oh, I don't know if I want to go into this place. This guy looks like some kind of an extremist. Where is he coming from? Ooh. Hello again, Christian Livingstone here, and I'm going down the proverbial rabbit hole on some power equipment again. This Rototiller, I think it's a early 70s model. It's got the L-head Briggs, and I've worked on this before a few years ago just to get it going so a neighbor could use it tilling up this garden he did, and he did that for a couple of years, and he wanted to get rid of it, and I said, oh, I know somebody who wants a tiller, another neighbor, and he said, okay, yeah, he can just have it, and so I told my other neighbor, there's a free tiller, it's a little hard starting, blah, 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 but, and so, he talked to his girlfriend. She said, nope, you can't have it, because she was the one really who was going to use it. Okay, and as you can see, I have pulled off the head, and as I rotate the flywheel, I just want to check and make sure those valves go up and down and seat well, and they seem to. The height of them is plenty, so I don't have to worry about, going down behind there and checking that feeler gauge to make sure that's correct. I might even grind that lip right there a little. On another video I did that. That helps the evacuation of the gases and intake of the gases go a little better. So that's a sneaky little way to get better intake and exhaust. Otherwise, I did take this clutch off and refurb it. Hopefully that will stop that squealing like a banshee after she starts. It stops doing that squealing, but you gotta wait for it, and it's it's loud, it's noisy, it's just needs a little light oil on the shaft. I believe that's where the squealing comes from, is here. It's not those ball bearings, but I did give those ball bearings a little polish up too. She wanted something new, something light and easy, and so it fell back on me. You want this thing here, take it, get it out of here. So, I was a little familiar with it. I did some welding on the mechanism and put a gasket on the carb and just got it going. So he could use it for a couple of years. So otherwise, the air filter is good in there. These are usually just dried out and they crumble. But a few years ago, I told my neighbor, I said, grab you one of those air filters, foam ones, and you drip a little oil on them, and it's still good. So looks like I did kind of clean up the carburetor, but if that needs to get a little quick refurb, fine. But you can see there, that's not a factory gasket. I just made that myself. And so, I think the carb will be fine. So otherwise, this recoil mechanism is a sticking point, and then we'll put that Nova 2 electronic ignition, just cut the wire, it goes down behind there where there's some points in a condenser. Hopefully that'll make it easier starting. The harder starting part, I thought, okay, I'll take this thing on and I'll put on one of these electronic ignition converter. It's Nova 2. They're very inexpensive, and it deletes the points in condenser. And I thought, oh, that'll help making it easy to restart. Maybe I'll do a little video on, just this thing. But oh no, down the rabbit hole I went, and it was hard starting, partially because this recoil mechanism was all faulty. These little tabs, they break off, and this had none of them. And so, not only was the clutch squealing like a banshee after it started, the whip of the cord would go back in and it would jump over the little recoil mechanism. So I'm going to have to go in and braze some tabs to, keep that at bay, because, I don't want to throw money at this. I don't want to buy one of these or much else, but I did get a head gasket. Took off the head just to see the valves if they were doing fine, and nothing else was going on there, and a spark plug. So I'm going to be doing a little bit of repair, maintenance, refurbishment, and since I'm going to be welding on this and some other stuff, I might even paint the this two-tone scheme, all the white sections, and because you know it's kind of funky looking, this two-tone. So I got some paint. I bought some paint. So even though this thing is free, you know, I got about $50 in parts so far. So you know, if I put it's January 2022 right now. It's still pretty chilly. It's not bad right now, but you know, about an hour each day is all I want to do because your hands get cold, and that's what I'll probably do. So, you know, in the next week or so, I'll probably put an hour a day into it. Maybe have about 6 hours into it. And you know, if it spiffs up and maybe sells at $150, I'll net me a $100 bill for 6 hours work, which isn't much. It's, you know, this isn't really about making money. It's more about just taking this opportunity to share what I'm doing, and if anybody else can, you know, learn or gain from it, you know, maybe I'll suffer through this so they can save some time. But yeah, these are pretty simple, and if nothing else, I didn't refurb the carb. I did fab up a gasket under the gas tank, because a few years ago when you know, he brought this to me, it needed a gasket under there. I didn't want to buy one. I just had some, and I, you know, drew it out and did it. But there are carburetors, you know, aftermarket Asian ones that are brilliant for like $35. You can get them delivered to your door. So if need be, I might throw an aftermarket carburetor. But those are so simple. I believe if I need to, I'll just, you know, tap out all the little jets and ports and things, and it'll be fine. So let's see how it goes. All right. And you know, I did put a spark tester and ran it, and you know, it gets good spark now, but still it's hard starting. So I'm thinking maybe those points are the problem. But I may pull this back off and take a look at that key on the crankshaft. You know, these things, it's mostly on a mower, a push mower, you know, those kind of mowers that have the blade directly on the crankshaft. And if they hit a rock or something, you know, that'll send the shock right up through the crankshaft, and those crankshaft keys are designed to shear off. So they'll shear, instead of, you know, ruining your crankshaft, the key will shear off, and it might change the retard or advance the timing just a little. If it's a little off in that flywheel because it's, you know, starting to shear or move, that will throw the timing and starting off. But this is less likely to have that as a problem because these tines are turning, and they have a belt. There's a belt that goes around, and then it you know, goes to that gearbox. So there is a buffer between these tines. If these tines hit something, the buffer is in that belt. It's not direct on the crankshaft like a mower blade for a single push mower. You know, my mower over here, of course, it's a zero turn, and it's got a belt or two going to those blades. So there's buffers in there, and there's a little spring tensioner too that acts as a buffer. So, you know, if you hit something on one of these mowers, it's not so critical. But and I don't think it's so critical on this either. But I'll pull that clutch, that recoil clutch mechanism off there again, and you know, really get a good hard look down there, even with the flashlight if I need to see if that key is lined up with the slot perfectly well. I'm guessing it is. So here we go down the rabbit hole. Okay, and here's my quickie way of you know, degunking this with the Dremel tool and a wire wheel. Yeah, you can get it to a pretty polished surface this way. And here's my quickie way of resurfacing the head a little bit. Not, you know, literally powering the belt sander, but this belt is worn a bit. It's not too aggressive, and it's a flat surface, so I can just kind of hold it on here, move it around, and then look at the surface and see if there's high spots and low spots. And no, it's touching all the corners pretty equally, so this head probably isn't warped at all. But I'll keep, you know, rotating it evenly so it all matches up, and it'll be a good mate down surface. And there it is. As you can see, you know, I didn't take it fully down to bare metal, but you can see, you know, there's the high and low spots are negligible. This was a flat mating surface, so that's as far as I'm going to go. While I'm here, I'll just bring it up so you don't get any debris, and I'll show you what I was talking about on those eyebrows. See, I'm going to grind right on that lip. And kind of soften that. Kind of soften that. Not getting too close to that piston, but that's it's helpful. I might polish it up a little more with a different bit. You can see where I'm going with this. You know, the gases will move between there. I will take a quick swipe with the orbital sander with about 120 grit on here. I know some people are going to scream heresy, but here we go. That's about what I'll do. Maybe a touch more on this portion, but yeah, no, it looks good, and that's a quick down and dirty way to surface it. Uh-oh, trouble in paradise. As I do look a little closer, it looks like the intake valve doesn't seat down quite well enough. You see, I can get rotation on that, and that's sloppy. Me no likey. I think that's top dead center. You know, the exhaust is fine, but this one down below here, there's a little cover that you take off, and you can pop the valves off and grind that tip so it will, the spring tension will cause it to seat down a little better. I'm probably going to go down that rabbit hole. Take a thousandth or two off of this, maybe one off of that, and that'll take care of that. But that means, you know, all this has to come off and blah, 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 blah. Otherwise, this is how we eliminate the points. We just, we eliminate them. Okay, I got about an hour into this thing now. That includes some painting. I did some painting, I'll show you, but here, my hands are dirty, and I got about an hour into this, and I've got an appointment around the corner to drink some beer with a friend who's selling his house. It's already sold, it's closing. He's going to give me a riding lawnmower that I've worked on over the years and mowed his place a couple of times, and you know, he's just doesn't want the new owner to have it, and so he says I can have it, and we've traded each other favors, just like the previous owner of this we've done. And I got some rocks out of fixing this the first time, plus another piece of power equipment he had. So yeah, I've got some good neighbors, but one of them's leaving, and you know, I don't have much room in here, so you know, I kind of do want to get this thing done and out of here, because I got something else coming in here, and I don't have a lot of room. This is just a single car garage, and you know, I got stuff in here, and to me, less is more. So I'll show you a little paint treatment I'm giving. You know, this is a light refurb. This isn't a restoration. You know, I'm not trying to make it like it was new again, but you know, refresh it, do some preservation, maintenance, and refurbishment. So I'll show you the paint so far, but yeah, I'm going to probably touch up this whole thing and that whole armature up there. And here's some of the paint treatment on just the loose items. Some of them were blue, some of them I'm converting the white over to the blue, so it'll be all blue. This is a Ford blue. I guess that's the Ford engine or Ford exterior tractor blue, but it matches pretty close, so that's what I'm going with so far. A lot of the stuff will be on the unit itself, not removable, and so I'll spray that up too. Hey, look who's coming. Okay, Logan, my neighbor friend, has joined me today. He wanted to get in on some of this, especially that electronic ignition upgrade, but here we are kind of still stuck on the little valve issue before we get into the coil and the ignition. So here he is, he's giving me a hand, and we'll get on to the other stuff probably another day. But you know, Logan, he's an enthusiast with the small engines and stuff. He's got a little lawn service he does. He just pulls a trailer that we expanded right here in this garage. Did we not?
Yep.
Yeah, right here. And it's a pretty cool trailer. He can load his mower on it and a weed eater and go wherever he wants and just make some money. Okay, so Logan got the tank and the carburetor off, and also the valve that released. Even though we didn't have the special tool, he managed to get it out. And so we're just going to take a couple thousandths off the tip of this so that we'll get that spring tension and the valve seat secured. Use the flap disc on the angle grinder and took what I thought might be a couple thousandths, trying to keep it as square as I could, rotating it. So 4 thousandths?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, try 5 thousandths, because that's ideal, but make sure the piston's right. You pushed it, you moved the flywheel.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, go up to about 1/4 of an inch, a little more up, up, there. Now check it, see, it probably wasn't 4 thousandths.
It was probably 3.
Yeah, 3 I got in there, but I just want you to double check. I don't want to pop that out again and grind some more if I don't have to.
Yeah, it's 3.
3 thousandths, try 4. If you can slide 4 in there, I'll be happy, and just leave it as is.
Barely. Oh, there it goes. Yep.
Okay, 4 thousandths, and that valve still doesn't rotate when you put your thumb on it?
Nope.
Okay, that's good. Do a little more. We got about an hour in yesterday, and we're probably not going to be able to try to start it because that cover with the recoil, that needs some attention, some welding, some
TLC.
Yeah, preservation. I'm going to paint it so it'll be kind of pretty. But for now, we're just going to get back up, probably put the head on and everything we can do, and then I'll give the cover and recoil some attention tomorrow. We're only going to get another hour in. You wanted to go into that new Southern Cooking Sam's place. They got the catfish and the shrimp and all that. How about after we're done here today, I treat you over there? All right. You got an appetite?
Yeah, I'm hungry.
Yeah. They've got a great Philly cheesesteak. Now, I'm on my juice fast, but I'll break it. You know, I don't have to be 100% compliant. Okay, now before we throw the tank and the carburetor back on, I just went in and got the jet out. There's a little needle valve in the jet itself, and it looks fine. Everything's fine. This ran before, and I don't know if I did this a few years ago when I fiddled with this carburetor, but I don't think it needs much attention at all. So, but I just gave it the once over right there. Okay, Logan's finagling that tank and carburetor back in place, and the springs and the governor and the throttle rod, blah, blah, blah. Okay, you got the new head on there and the new gasket under there. Here's the bolts. I'm going to test your knowledge, Logan. What do you notice about those bolts?
Some are shorter than the others.
That's right. And so where do you think the longer ones go? There's about 3 long ones.
Towards the center?
Say again?
Towards the center?
No. You notice on the right side how there's a shallower amount that it threads into, and on the left side,
the longer ones go here.
No, the longer ones go on the left side. Those 3 holes on the far left. 1, 2, 3. You know why? Especially because it,
Combustion.
it exactly. That is the
Combustion chamber.
exhaust side. So the long bolts go on the exhaust side, and there's more aluminum to screw into. So those are a lot more sound. Now that's the back end. You got to do it all along the side. Those are the 3 tallest ones.
Yes.
They go along the left side, all the way down. All 3 of them. See, those have more to screw into. There's more metal. Say?
Make sure your exhaust is tight so it doesn't blow.
All right.
There. Done.
Like it?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, here's what Logan's been waiting for. This conversion to the electronic ignition. Here's the coil, and this one had a ground and the hot wire, and so it's a little antiquated to me, but we're going to go using it. I was a little worried that this ground wire was insulated, but I don't care now because it's a ground. If it touches something else that's grounded, it won't matter. And now that there's some paint on it, that kind of keeps out the oxidation so it won't weather away. But what we're going to do and have happen is we'll strip off this and we'll splice some wires. But go ahead and look inside the box over there and see the diagram. Just get your head around it. There is an alternate wiring method if it's reverse polarity. I'm sure it isn't, but should be the typical layout right here. Okay, Logan and I decided just to mount that little transistorized thing right inside the cover, and that way it's clean. It'll be covered, and we'll put some zip ties. We put a little dab of silicone behind it, plus that sheet screw just to secure it, so it ought to be great. And then that brown wire is a lead. That'll go up to the controls for a switch, a kill switch. And now Logan's adjusting the air gap with a business card. I just had something delivered to me and it had a business card in it. It's a little more than an hour today, but yeah, we're going to just hold with what we got because this cover, this recoil cover needs a lot of attention, and I'll do that separately. But the wiring's pretty much done, the refurbishment, the carb, the paint, and the head and all that stuff. So it's coming along well. But Logan and I are going to go out to lunch. Okay, and you can probably see the fit up I got going. I'm going to TIG braze it right there, and that's how I'm going to do it. I got my trusty brick here for a prop, and it'll get me right where I want to go. So I'll prop up the camera and get it out of my hand, so maybe you'll see some of it captured as I'm doing it. Well, you don't really get to see the arc. It's kind of behind here, but outside it's a little breezy, so I'm inclined to shut the garage door somewhat, but I don't think I'm going to. I've got about 18, 19 CFH of argon flowing through here, so hopefully the shielding gas won't be a problem if I catch a little wisp of wind here. But so yeah, I'm going to get the gloves on and just go for it. The camera is rolling and recording, I believe, so there's my gloves. And the silicon bronze is not really a welding, it's a brazing process, and because this is so thin, I'm going to use that. I got a few little pieces. I'm using 1/16. And the bronze material is a little pricey, so this filler, I've got some, but not much. It seems to be flowing okay. Got about 70 nuance on the top here. I'll show you how that turns out. Okay, that's one side. I'm going to take the clamp off, do the same on the other side, but no, that went well. Very nice. Okay, and there are those tabs. They're brazed on, and I use the grinder a bit on the Dremel tool to clean those up so it doesn't look like they were, cobbled on there too much. And so I'll put the paint treatment on it now, and I think I'm going to put some of this undercoating on the underside and save me some of that blue paint. I'm trying to make this one can of blue paint go because I got something beyond this that I still want to paint blue, so I'm kind of conserving on the blue paint. But yeah, you can see where the bronze and then the base metal is distinctly a different color. But yeah, this TIG brazing process is new for me, and the more I do it, the more I like it, the more confident I am with it and just flowing it in. I don't really have to dab it. You just push it or lay rod and it just flows real nice like solder. It's pretty cool stuff. Okay, and a little preservation here and getting rid of this two-tone. I'm using some steel wool and the orbital sander there just to knock off some of the stuff, and I'll paint it while it's on the unit. I won't dismantle this armature, and there it is with the armature painted. It turned out surprisingly okay, and so I'm happy about that. Didn't take long to just kind of knock off the rough spots and paint it, and the finish looks good, surprisingly. Okay, and if I'm not mistaken, this number here is the year. This indicates that this is a 1966, and I thought this might have been, early 70s. It's just like the, motors that we had on our mini bikes. I actually had a Tecumseh, but all my little derelict buddies when I was a kid mostly had Taco mini bikes, 3.5 horse or 3 horse motor, and they were all just like this. But so this is actually a little older than I thought. In 1966 is what this seems to indicate. Okay, it's been about a week since you've been here, the snow and the cold and all that. But you can probably see what I've done so far. Not much, but I got those tabs on that cover, that recoil start cover. So you want to roll that up and put that together. I'm sure you can tackle that. But don't fold those tabs down. I want to do the bending of them. All right, I'll give you the hint anyway. Just separate the two. Take the round thing and the coil, separate them, set that aside for a minute. Yeah, just get that thing in there.
Basically what it is.
Yeah. Nice out.
Powering on. Paired.
Looks like another good day, huh?
Next Wednesday and Thursday,
Oh boy. That's okay. I did some spraying earlier this morning, and with that pre-emergent, and you know, it'll be good to get that watered in, you know. A couple other yards I did on 26 with the stuff, and they could use some watering in. Thanks, sir. Hey. You ever tried this twisted tea? Twisted tea, have you ever tried that?
I've heard it's good.
Yeah, it is. They might even have a tall can of it. Just in case you're wondering. Why, what are you thinking about getting? Yeah, whatever you want. You earned it. Hey. Alright. I could go for a, hey, I like the shirt. I could go for a case of that Natty Daddy. Okay. 15 in a copy. Never seen this stuff before. Hey, Jenna. He's got another thing coming for me. This is for my buddy. He was a big help on a power equipment project we had.
Okay. How many to get me? Do you know?
He's getting a Natty Daddy.
Oh, he's getting you a flight of the Natty Daddy.
Yeah. I think a $20 bill will cover it. Yeah, straight up. Thank you, ma'am.
You want to sleep for that one?
Eh, I'll just throw it in here with them.
Okay, there you go.
All right.
See you next time.
I will. It'll be nice. Oh, you like those?
I haven't seen those before.
All right, come on, you're slowing my roll.
Jesus Christ.
No, that's a 6-pack. $10 a 6-pack isn't cheap. I don't think. And I made the cord length on the recoil here, you know, shorter than the coil spring itself, because my thinking is that if you pull this to the utmost and it ends up pulling out here, this will ultimately rip out. So I'd rather have the cord, you know, inside the knot break rather than have this rip out. Now, this already did rip out, and I just, you know, used the Dremel tool and notched out each side, and, you know, it's easy to fix it that way. But still, I always tend to want the cord to be the ultimate lengthening limiter. So rather than having the recoil spring, but, you know, that's just me. That may be, you know, not so, you know, clever. I don't know, but that's what I do. Okay, one quick review while we got this uncovered. You know, we're pretty much done now, but I wanted to show you and mention how you can quickly check the keyway and how we got this clutch off, this recoil clutch. You just tap it, and you know, it's not the special tool, but it allows you to get that off of there if you're very careful. And we were going to check that keyway, and as you can see, the key's not sheared, and so the timing is correct. And so that's just a quick review, and while Logan you have that clutch. Hold up the clutch for a second and get that hammer out of your hand and get some of that oil. I'm going to show them how to quelch or stop that screeching. Right, there's a wick down in there.
Oh, I see it.
And that's how you oil it, with some light oil, not motor oil. And I were working on this, and he mentioned that the choke always sucks in. After you pull start it, you pull the choke out, you pull it, the choke sucks back in. And so I said, you know, let's use the punch and dimple it with a peen. And we tried it on the slide here, but he said put it on the body itself, and it does. It holds in place. It'll stop about halfway, so you know you can hold it in place now with a couple of peens. Grab the hammer and the punch and show them exactly what we did. Okay, and there you can see, you know, the little dimples, both on the choke and the carburetor itself, helps it stay in place, because that might have been part of the problem with this hard starting. You know, you pull the choke out and then you pull the recoil handle, and you know the choke sucks back in. So you know, we might put another dimple on there, I think, to maybe stiffen it up a little better, but that's what we came up with. Okay, yeah, show them the ring. See, we made it so stiff with those peens and with the punch that now we got to put a ring on to open it, but it stays where we want it. So yeah, I'm going to declare this a success. And there's a few more things. Like I said, that switch has got to go on, and few little touch-up details, but yeah, thank you, Logan. You were a big help. You did most of the wrenching on it, so you get most of the credit, dude. Rock on. Tool I was using to check the RPMs. It's a mechanical tool built, designed on a vibration scenario with this little antenna that hangs out. You just dial it open, the antenna hangs out, and you pull it back in until it starts wavering. That's when you know you're setting, and it's showing between 3 and 4 thousandths, a little less than 3,500. Looks like about 3,400, if you can see that. About 3,400, and that's where I want it. I don't want to go, you know, up to the factory setting of 36, which is, you know, what they say it can run safely at, but I want it to be a little tamer than that. So that's what I'm leaving it at. I'll show you very briefly how you change the high RPMs, and I did have to change it. Initially it was set lower, you know, just by the governor's spring underneath there. It's real tight, and you know, you just use some needle nose pliers. There's a spring with the throttle governor mechanism, and the more tension you put on that by bending the tab that the spring hooks onto, you'll be able to increase or decrease the RPMs depending on how much tension you put on that spring. So And there's that spring. It's hanging off a little tab in there. I don't think I can really show it to you very effectively, but that, yeah, maybe I can. There's the tab. I've latched onto it with the needle nose, and you would bend it down to create more spring tension, or bend it up to create less spring tension there, and that'll change your RPM. So just be aware, it's that kind of a thing. You know, initially when I saw this, I thought, oh, there must be a few different holes up on that rod, you know, to change the spring tension. But no, this is like many of the Briggs models that the tab, you just bend the tab. So this is one of those, bend the tab. And otherwise, I really didn't see the little tab, you know, when the throttle is pulled back, that would ground out that kill wire. So, you know, I put the switch on there. I didn't want to, you know, linger too long looking for that. And I had the switch. I just used the switch. Okay, and here's how I listed the controls, the engage and disengage, and the throttle. This throttle was kind of counterintuitive. You push it rather than pull it. And here's the kill button with a little bit of this tattooing out, engaging. And one last thing I'm going to do on these tiller tines. You can see the sleeve fits onto the shaft there, and you know, they were sloppy on there because those holes have become ovalized. And I'm going to build that up, you know, on the shaft too. It's a little ovalized, and the hardware doesn't, you know, it's worn and it doesn't fit tightly. So those tines are kind of sloppy on the shaft, and I don't like that. So, you know, while I'm here, I'm going to just deal with it, you know, before those rip out. I don't know how many years it would take for that to happen, but I just want them to be on there a little more securely. So maybe I'll even use some stainless steel TIG filler rod, so, you know, they won't have that tendency to ovalize so much. And I had some slightly larger hardware, so that's going to help. You know, it'll be a little tighter fit, but I'm still going to do some build-up around the ears of these ovalized holes. But yeah, this isn't grade 8, I don't think, but it's going to be better than the old hardware. With the larger hardware, you can see it's still sloppy, so it's going to get some build-up around these ears. Using ground clamp holder. A little bit of rust there. You can see the little sparklings. I cleaned out the inner edges pretty well, but not perfectly. Might as well just keep going all the way around. Try to go down too far, you know, into the hole. Just going to put a little lip on it and drill it out. Put a little more heat on it just to soften it. All right. Now dig this, baby. Oh, there it is. That's one little build-up. I'll grind it off flat for the leather, the bolts. But and here's that fit up with the holes drilled, and you know, it's pretty snug with the bigger hardware. You know, there's no wobble, and you know, with the build-up, this could be a little off-center. So I'm not gonna fill and build up on the shaft itself, because this may be off a little. So any play that's in the shaft will be taken up with this just being not right on dead center, because you know when you build up, just see how, but I like it, it's tight, and because you build up and then you re-drill the holes, and they can be off just a hair, and if I tried to make it super precision on the shaft, then things, you know, would get pretty tight, and so this is tight enough for me. I'm liking this. Okay, and there it is, the tines on the shaft, no play. I didn't have to build up on the shaft itself, because like I said, those the build up on the sleeve into the shaft, you know, they were tight enough, and maybe hopefully they were off center enough that it just snugged that up perfectly. So, and that's what it did. Okay, Logan's going to start the tiller because we're done with it, and he's just going to show you how well it starts from cold. It's absolutely cold. So go ahead, put it through the paces. Now on that throttle, I've been starting it with the throttle all the way forward. I don't bother with getting it started on a lower idle. That was pretty good. You know, it didn't really warm up and stay started super well, but as soon as it warmed up, you know, it was fine. Off. So yeah, no, I'm perfectly happy. You were a big help, Logan. So you know, I didn't capture that video on the trike here from this camera because you know it just didn't do it. But we went into the
Sam's.
Well, huh?
Sam's.
Yeah, the Cajun place. And how did you like that
Catfish.
Catfish? Good. But we were just in the liquor store yesterday, and this did capture that. So maybe, you know, when we're tipping a beer over here, you know, I'll include that clip when we went into the liquor store, just to give some different visuals other than, you know, in the garage and in the dirty environment. But it turned out good. I mean, I'm happy. What do you think?
I think it turned out pretty good.
Okay, and so we'll touch on what were some of the things that we did do. Go ahead and list them, just looking and touching the bases.
In here we put the electric start transistor.
Ignition, electronic ignition, we sure did.
And
aftermarket.
then we fixed the pull start.
The recoil, yeah.
And then we basically repainted it.
Sure.
Cleaned up the carburetor a little bit.
Yep.
Adjust the idle screw.
Yep.
Put a kill switch in.
Yep.
And
what made it easier to start now, do you think? All of the things we did, or one in particular?
I think this mostly.
The choke. Okay, we stiffened that up so that it doesn't suck back in, so the choke works better. And you stumbled onto that sticky carburetor linkage that was helpful too.
Yeah.
And
I had loosened up the screw a little bit.
And the electronic ignition probably makes it a little better. And there's a new spark plug on it. And I did some stuff when you weren't around on the valves. I ground the eyebrow of it.
I actually was there.
Well, you did, yeah, you did that part where we actually got the gap for the valve. So yeah, the valve is improved. And that probably helped the starting process. But this is an old Briggs L-head flathead motor, and it's got that Pulsajet fuel pump integrated into the carburetor, which probably isn't the easiest motors to start, but it starts pretty darn good.
Yeah, you know, for what it is.
So yeah, I'm very happy. So we celebrated a little bit yesterday when we got that beer and stuff, but you didn't drink that one you got. So
no, I didn't have time yesterday.
All right. Well, thanks again, my man.
No problem.